Hi guy, welcome back TV Spoilers. Y&R revealed that in the tense atmosphere, Kyle and Claire stood facing each other. The distance between them not just physical but also filled with unsaid secrets. Claire, her face pale, hands trembling, looked into Kyle's eyes but could not face the truth she had been hiding for so long. She had rejected his proposal not because she didn't love him, but because she felt unworthy of the happiness that came with it due to her unstable mental state and a past manipulated by her Aunt Jordan, which she feared would harm both Kyle and Harrison. Kyle Abbott stood before her, confused and deeply hurt by her rejection. How could she turn him down when everything seemed ready? The emptiness, the pain, began to flood his mind. Why, he asked, his voice faltering, unsure whether to continue the conversation. He needed to know the reason, but Claire's silence only deepened his confusion. At first, Claire tried to avoid answering, desperately holding onto her secrets. But as the moments passed, she realized she couldn't hide it anymore. She could no longer keep it inside. The turmoil inside her was too much to bear. I don't feel worthy, she whispered, her voice breaking. I don't want you to suffer because of me. Because of my past. Because of what Aunt Jordan did to me. She stopped, unable to continue, her eyes filling with tears. Kyle stood there, frozen, as he listened to her. He couldn't understand her pain fully, but he could feel the weight of it. I won't leave you. You don't have to suffer alone, he said, taking her hand, trying to offer her warmth. A promise that he would stand by her no matter what. He didn't have all the answers, but he knew one thing: he wasn't going anywhere. Despite all the fears about their future and the scars from her past, Claire couldn't deny the love she still felt for Kyle. But the doubt and fear of hurting him still loomed over her. Could they forgive each other and find a way back to one another? Or would those old wounds forever remain as a barrier they could never cross? In that quiet moment, Claire wondered if they could overcome all that had happened. But that question was also the very thing lovers face in life, not just finding happiness, but having the strength to forgive and love again. Just then, the silence was broken by the sound of a phone buzzing. A message appeared on Claire's screen, just 3 words, I know everything. Claire froze, her heart racing. The dangers they had yet to face were now beginning to reveal themselves. Would this secret tear them apart, or would it be the final test of their relationship? Claire felt her heart stop when she saw the message appear on her screen. 3 simple words, yet carrying a weight that felt crushing. I know everything. A cold chill ran down her spine as if a gust of wind had swept through, bringing with it all the secrets she had been desperately trying to hide. Someone knew everything, and no one knew better than she did how this could shatter everything. Kyle stood beside her, not fully understanding what was going on in Claire's mind. But he could immediately sense the change. She grew silent, lost in thought, not saying a word. He watched her, his worry growing. Claire, who sent this message? What's happening? Kyle spoke, his voice filled with concern, wanting to fix things, but not understanding fully. Claire looked down at her phone, then back up at Kyle, her eyes full of fear. She couldn't say the name of the person who sent the message, but she knew exactly who it was. She had lived in fear for so long, knowing that one day, the truth would come to light, and everything would fall apart. But now, she couldn't pull away. She had reached a crossroads, and the truth was finally catching up with her. We can't avoid this anymore, Kyle, Claire whispered, her voice trembling. There are things you can't understand, things I've kept hidden, but now it's time to face them. The secrets of my past, the relationships I can't escape. They're all catching up to us. Kyle felt as if everything around him was spinning. I just want to understand, he replied, trying to take her hand, but she pulled away, as though afraid that being close to him would hurt him. If you don't tell me, I can't help you. I want to be the one you trust. I love you, Claire. Claire looked at Kyle, her eyes glistening with tears. She could feel his love for her, but she also couldn't ignore the fear that loving him would bring him nothing but pain. You can't understand, Kyle, she answered, her voice cracking. Not because you're not good enough, but because I'm not worthy. Everything I've done, everything I've been through, I can't let you get pulled into it. Her words hit Kyle hard, making him take a step back. But he couldn't let her go. You can't handle this on your own, Claire. We'll face it together. You don't have to suffer alone anymore. He took her shoulders, holding her tightly. If necessary, I'll be here for you, no matter what happens. Claire wanted to believe his words, but the ghosts of the past still held her back. She lifted her head, staring into Kyle's determined eyes, knowing that if she didn't speak the truth now, she might never be able to move forward. But would that confession break everything they had? Do you really want to hear the truth, Kyle? Claire asked, her voice shaky. If I tell you everything, will you still be able to love me? Can we move past all of it? Kyle didn't answer immediately, he just shook his head slightly and tightened his grip on her hand. My love for you isn't because you're perfect, Claire. It's because you're you. And I won't give up on you no matter what. Just then, a faint sound from behind startled both of them. The door to the room creaked open, and in that moment, all the secrets seemed to be closing in. The shadowy figure of someone appeared in the doorway, their eyes filled with coldness, as if they knew everything. Claire's heart dropped. It's time, the figure said, their voice chilling, like a signal that the truth was about to be revealed. This was no longer just a conversation about love or forgiveness. It was a battle they could not avoid, one between secrets, lies, and revenge. What would Claire and Kyle face next? And could they hold on to their love? Or would it all collapse under the weight of secrets that could no longer be hidden? That question was not only theirs to answer, but anyone watching their struggle. And it wouldn't be an easy one. The script opens in a tense environment where hidden motives are driving covert actions. Chelsea, unable to tolerate any longer, stands before a major decision. Should she let Victor's cruelty continue? Or should she act to stop it? The tangled relationship between Chelsea and Adam once again becomes the focal point of this conflict. Every decision Adam makes seems to tear apart his relationship with his father. Victor, with his cold hand and dark schemes, has started plotting a dangerous game, a fake kidnapping of Lily and her children. A plan he believes will put pressure on Kane. But Chelsea can't sit idly by and watch this threat unfold without intervening. When Adam reveals Victor's plan to Chelsea, she can no longer stay at peace. Although she had once been a part of Victor's underhanded schemes, this time she cannot bear it. Chelsea's concern is not just for Lily's safety, but for her own family as well. A growing tension surges within her as she realizes everything could change in an instant. If she doesn't act right away, Adam's loyalty is again put to the test as his relationship with Victor becomes more strained. When Chelsea decides to take action, Adam finds himself unable to stop feeling conflicted. He stands between what he believes in and what he knows is right. Will he stand by Chelsea, or will he return to his father to maintain the protection of his family? Chelsea, determined to stop Victor, quickly takes bold steps. She can no longer watch Lily and her children fall into Victor's hands. Even if it is a trap designed with cunning and intricacy, she decides to contact Lily directly, urgently warning her about the fake kidnapping plan. A move that Chelsea knows will complicate everything. Upon receiving Chelsea's warning, Lily is shocked. She had already left Genoa City, attempting to rebuild her life. But now that peace is severely threatened, the idea that Victor could play such cruel games leaves her stunned. Lily is not only forced to face threats from the father of her children, but also must protect herself and her family from the storm Victor is about to unleash. Victor, upon realizing that Chelsea has sabotaged his plan, feels fury rise within him. The leverage he hoped to use against Kane is now gone, and his hatred for Chelsea grows stronger. Unable to accept this failure, Victor begins to suspect Adam and accuses him of leaking the information, straining their already fragile father-son relationship even further. Adam, now caught in a difficult position, stands between his loyalty to his father and his own conscience. He feels the pain of having to choose between the two, knowing that confronting his father could bring serious consequences not only for him, but for his entire family. The relationship between Adam and Victor has always been complicated, but now, Adam's betrayal seems unavoidable. As Adam begins to realize that his actions are harming not just his family but also himself, every decision becomes crucial. He can no longer live in his father's shadow without facing the consequences of his own actions. Chelsea, though fearful of Victor's wrath, cannot step back. The sense of relief she feels for having warned Lily in time allows her to endure whatever comes next. However, she cannot stop worrying about what might happen next. Victor will not easily forgive this failure. Everything now seems out of her control. With a dramatic hook, when Victor discovers Adam's betrayal, their relationship may never be the same again. Will Adam choose his father or his conscience? The answer to this question could be the key to unlocking unforeseen changes in the lives of all involved. In The Young and the Restless, the stakes have never felt higher, especially with the tension rising around Victor's ruthless plans. Chelsea finds herself in an agonizing internal struggle after Adam reveals Victor's dangerous scheme to fake Lily's kidnapping, a plot designed to manipulate Kane. It's a moment of profound emotional turmoil for Chelsea, who, despite her complicated past with Victor, can't ignore the danger looming over Lily and her children. As a mother herself, Chelsea knows firsthand how far a parent can go to protect their own. But Victor's cruelty crosses a line she can't bear to witness, let alone allow. The weight of the decision she makes in warning Lily feels both heavy and freeing heavy. because of the inevitable fallout with Victor and Adam, but freeing because she can no longer stand by and watch lives be destroyed by such a man. I find myself drawn to the complexity of Chelsea's character in these moments. She's not just an accomplice to a past filled with dark decisions, but someone desperately seeking redemption, even if it means breaking the trust of the people closest to her. It's such a human reaction, isn't it? To act on instinct when you feel like someone you care about is in harm's way. Her decision to contact Lily is a bold one, yet filled with the kind of emotional rawness that makes her action both selfless and profoundly dangerous. Lily's shock as she grapples with the reality of the threat is something I can almost feel myself, because when your life is turned upside down, how do you even begin to trust the warning from someone who's often been in the dark? But then there's Adam, turned between his loyalty to his father and the growing realization that maybe the things Victor does aren't always right. That internal conflict adds so much depth to Adam's character. He's not just fighting a battle for power, he's fighting with his own moral compass, which I think is something we all can relate to at some point. It makes me wonder how many of us would face the same quandary. Do we stick by the people we love, even when they're wrong, or do we stand up for what we know is right? The relationship between Adam and Victor only becomes more strained, and as a viewer, it's almost heartbreaking to watch. Victor's anger is a storm that can devastate everything in its path, and Chelsea knows, deep down, that this is only the beginning of the fallout. But Chelsea's warning, though it comes with such peril, is the right thing to do. And for once, in the midst of all this chaos, there's a flicker of light as Chelsea feels the smallest sense of relief. She may not have control over how Victor will react, but she has control over this one action: saving Lily. And sometimes, that's all we can do: take the smallest step to make a difference, even if it feels like we're about to be swallowed by the consequences. On our TV Spoilers channel, I always seek content inspiration for each video by compiling short video clips to analyze and offer my personal opinions. This channel specializes in analyzing, theorizing, and discussing plot points in the Young and the Restless series from the perspective of a longtime fan. Through this, viewers can gain deeper, more objective, and more interesting perspectives. Subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest news about the Young and the Restless series.